The night sky above Eryndor-5, a terraformed colony world at the edge of human expansion, was a shimmering dome of stars. The pale moons cast silver light across the ruins of an ancient alien city that predated humanity's arrival by millennia. Crumbling towers rose like blackened fangs, jagged reminders of a civilization lost to time. Few dared to wander here, not only because of the danger of collapse, but because the ruins whispered of something darker, something alive. Elias Wren, a former soldier turned scavenger, had heard the warnings. He didn't believe them. Ghost stories about alien monsters lurking in the shadows were the kind of myths colonies invented to scare children away from dangerous places. Yet when he crept through the ruins that night, his plasma lantern flickering against alien glyphs etched into obsidian walls, he felt the weight of eyes on him, watching, waiting. He tightened his grip on his rifle and told himself he was imagining it. The encounter. Elias turned a corner into what had once been a ceremonial chamber. The ceiling soared above him, carved with constellations that still matched the sky. In the center lay a raised stone platform, and on it he froze. A woman sat chained to the altar. Her skin was pale, luminous, almost translucent in the moonlight. Her long dark hair spilled like ink across her shoulders. Her eyes glowed faintly crimson, catching his lantern's light with an unnatural shimmer. She looked both human and not, her beauty sharp enough to cut, her presence chilling enough to freeze him in place. When her lips parted, Elias saw the faint glint of elongated fangs. "You should not be here," she whispered, her voice trembling with something Elias couldn't quite name. Not hunger, not threat, fear. Elias steadied his weapon. "What are you?" Her gaze flicked to the barrel of his rifle, then back to his eyes. She swallowed hard, as if ashamed of the answer. "They call me a monster," she said, her voice breaking. "But I am not. I am what is left of my kind. The truth of her kind." Elias kept his rifle trained on her, though his finger hesitated on the trigger. "Your kind. The ones who built this city." She nodded, chains clinking softly. "We were once a proud people. We were not monsters. We lived with the stars, drank of their energy, wove life into matter. But then the hunger came, a curse in our blood. We needed what others carried within them. Their essence, their life, to survive." "Vampires," Elias muttered. Her jaw clenched at the word, but she didn't deny it. "Yes, to your kind that word fits. But it is not all we are. I never wanted this hunger. I never wanted to harm." Her eyes glistened, real tears. "I learned to resist. I drank only from the willing, from those who gave freely. But the others, they gave in to the hunger. They became beasts, predators. I refused, and for that they bound me here to starve, to die slowly in the dark." Elias lowered his weapon slightly. Her body looked frail, thin, as though she hadn't fed in weeks. If she were truly a predator, she'd have lunged at him already. Instead she was begging. "Oh, please," she whispered, her voice raw. "Do not kill me. I am not a monster." Elias hesitated. His soldier's instincts screamed that this was a trap. But another part of him, the part that had grown weary of war, weary of killing, saw the truth in her trembling form. "What's your name?" he asked. She blinked, surprised. "Name? Yes. If you want me to believe you're not a monster, start with that." For a long moment she was silent. Then her lips curved faintly, as though she had forgotten the shape of a smile. "My name is Serenia." Elias nodded slowly. "I'm Elias." Serenia's chains rattled as she leaned forward. "Elias, if you believe me, free me. The hunger, it hurts. It burns me alive from within. But I swear I will not harm you. Choice. Elias studied her carefully. Her eyes glowed with desperation, not bloodlust. Her breathing was shallow, ragged. And beneath it all was something he hadn't expected to feel from a so-called vampire, humanity. But if he freed her and she turned on him, he wouldn't have a chance. He'd be dead before he could pull the trigger. Serenia saw the doubt in his eyes and whispered, almost to herself, "I am not a monster." Elias slowly lowered his rifle. Against every instinct, every lesson drilled into him as a soldier. He believed her. "I know," he said quietly. And with those words he knelt, pulling a plasma cutter from his pack. Sparks flew as he sliced through the alien alloy binding her wrists and ankles. The chains fell away with a clatter that echoed through the chamber like the breaking of an ancient curse. The Hunger Awakens. For a moment, Serenia didn't move. She stared at her freed hands as though she couldn't believe it. Then her body trembled violently. She staggered forward, falling to her knees, clutching her chest. "The hunger," she gasped. "It's too strong. I can't control it." Elias stiffened, weapon half raised. But before he could act, Serenia looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. "Please," she whispered. "Just your hand. A drop of blood. I don't need much. I swear it." Elias hesitated. His pulse raced. This was the test. If he gave her blood, she could kill him. But if he refused, she might lose control anyway. And then there would be no stopping her. Slowly, he extended his hand. "One drop," he said firmly. "That's all." Serenia's eyes glowed brighter, but not with predatory malice, with gratitude. She took his hand gently, as though holding something sacred, and pressed her lips to his skin. He felt the faintest sting like a pinprick, then warmth as she drew a single mouthful. And then she pulled away, shuddering as if life itself had rushed back into her veins. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling with relief. "You saved me." The hunters arrive. Before Elias could answer, a thunderous roar echoed through the ruins. The ground shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. Serenia's eyes widened in terror. "They've found me." "Who?" Elias demanded. "My kind. The ones who gave in. The true monsters." As if on cue, shadows moved at the edge of the chamber. Figures stepped into the light, twisted versions of Serenia, their eyes burning crimson with unrestrained hunger, their fangs bared. Their bodies were gaunt, predatory, their movements sharp as knives. Elias raised his rifle. "Stay behind me." Serenia shook her head. "No, this is my fight. They want me dead because I refuse to be like them. But with you, maybe I have a chance." The battle. The creatures lunged. Plasma bolts lit the chamber, searing through the air. Elias fought with soldier's precision, dropping 2 of them before they reached him. But more came, climbing across the walls like spiders, shrieking with inhuman rage. Serenia moved with supernatural grace, faster than Elias's eyes could follow. She struck with her bare hands, claws tearing through her kin. Her movements fueled not by hunger but by desperation. For the first time in centuries, she had something to fight for. Together, human and alien vampire fought back to back, holding the chamber against the tide. When the last of the creatures fell, the silence that followed was deafening. Elias leaned against the wall, chest heaving. "Remind me never to doubt you again." Serenia wiped blood from her lips. Not human blood, but that of her fallen kin. "I told you. I'm not a monster."